Yo, what up fam? It's your girl Lars back with another vlog episode to tell you guys the absolute easiest way to sync audio and video footage together and create a multicam sequence in Premiere Pro. And before we get started, please remember to like, subscribe, comment, send me $1,000,000, give me a foot massage, do all the things. Do all the things. Thank you. I see you. Love you guys. And the reason I'm making this video is because I remember being in college and being taught by my professor how to make a multicam sequence, which consisted of laying out the audio and all the footage and manually finding a sync point that you could recognize easily and manually going in and lining up the audio, making sure it was just fucking perfect. I'm here to tell you, you don't have to do any of that shit anymore. I got your back. Let's go. Okay, so here we are in Premiere Pro. We have our footage completely organized into its own folders, the A cam, the audio, and the B cam folders. So A cam is just this stagnant tripod shot, and this footage is of workout videos that I shot over the weekend. I just thought that the footage turned out really nice and really clean, and it was a great example of multicam that I'm gonna have to be working with later, so I thought might as well just use this as the example. So as you can see, our A cam is this stagnant tripod shot. There's two of them. We have our audio in one file, which makes it nice and easy, but if you have audio in multiple files, that's totally fine. It'll still work just the same. All it's gonna do is it's gonna make multiple multicam sequences, but it's fine. Okay, I'm gonna start out by showing you how you shouldn't do this, the way that I was taught in school. That is the very long manual way of doing this that you should never ever even attempt because it's so stupid and takes so long. So yeah, I'm just gonna show you real quick. We'll make a new sequence. So you're expected to put all your footage in the same sequence, just messily throw it in there and somehow have some idea of where you're supposed to start. So I'm just throwing all my footage in there. Don't even know where it's going, what it's doing. And then what I was taught in school from here, you are supposed to monitor the waveforms and gotta make sure we make these windows bigger so we can see what we're doing and zoom in. So as you can see, the waveforms kind of match up a little bit, and I would have to sit here and just kind of hope that that's it, no idea what I'm doing. Let's play it back and see what it sounds like, I guess. Total mess. No idea what I'm doing, no idea where I'm even starting. You can't even see what you're doing because you can't even see all the audio, the footage. Don't do this. This way sucks. Let's get rid of all this shit. Delete, delete, delete. Don't even bother. What you're gonna do, you're gonna want to select just the clips that you need in that multicam sequence. So let's start by doing that. Select, you can shift click and highlight everything, and then to get rid of what you don't want highlighted, just command click, click. So we have our audio, our A cam, and our B cam all ready to go. Now right click anywhere on any of the selected clips and go all the way down to create multi-camera source sequence. And this is going to bring up a dialog box where we're going to change just a few things to get you on your way to making your multi-camera sequence. And I'm not sure what your dialog box is defaulting to in the synchronized point area, but mine automatically defaults to audio because I use multi-camera source sequences all the time. Yours might be defaulting to timecode or something. And timecode can be a very effective way to make multi-camera sequences, but that's only if you have synchronized the time code on your cameras, on your two different cameras. And I personally don't even know how to do that with my DSLR. I think that's more of a cinema camera type thing. So just ignore all these. They all work just as great, but they just take preparation that we probably didn't take in this case. So without any preparation at all, we go down to audio. And what this will do is it'll synchronize the audio from your cameras and the audio track and completely synchronize everything up together perfectly. So obviously this will only work if your camera is capable of recording sound, and it probably is if it's a DSLR. The only way that this would not work is if you accidentally had something plugged into your mic port in your camera and it was completely blocking off all the audio and no audio was recorded to the camera. That's the only time it wouldn't work. So this will work 99% of the time. So we got our audio selected. On track channel 1 is fine. I always just use 1, and you can ignore the rest of all this. This is just preloaded stuff that your program needs to know, and don't worry about it. And the last thing I like to do is I like to customize my full multicam name. So yours is probably defaulted to something like video clip plus name. I don't like that. I just go right down to customize and I make my own name. So we're just gonna call this test sequence multicam. And I always end my sequence name with multicam so that I know it's the actual multicam, and then we just hit OK. And we will watch as it processes. So what it's doing right now is it's trying to find that synchronized point that it can recognize, so it can just synchronize all the footage together. So we will wait for this. Okay, so now our multicam sequence has been processed. Let's go take a look at what Premiere Pro did. So it looks like Premiere Pro emptied these folders with the footage and the audio, and it put it into its own folder of processed clips. So this can be pretty helpful in knowing what exactly has been put into this multicam sequence, but you can also change all these settings. You can make it so that Premiere won't put the footage into another folder. It'll just keep it where it is. Sometimes it's kind of weird to make all these folders and then just have them be emptied out, but I don't really know what's better. As long as everything's just organized and you know where everything is, it should be fine. So I'm just gonna go ahead and delete these because nothing's in there. So we have our process clips, and then we have our multicam sequence. And if you try to just click on this, you'll see that it doesn't act like a normal sequence. That's because it's not. It doesn't bring it up in the timeline down here or anything. It's just simply showing us in the source monitor preview area. So what we actually need to do is make another sequence to put this sequence into it. And there's a really easy way to do that. And I would not recommend coming down here and clicking on sequence and making your own sequence, because it comes up with this dialog box with all these settings and you could mess something up really easily. So I would just cancel out of that and make a sequence the easy way. What's the easy way, you ask? Well, come over to your multicam, highlight it, right click, and go all the way down to new sequence from clip. And what this does is it makes our sequence in the exact settings that we need for the multicam, or any other clip ever, even without multicam. If you're just making a sequence and you want a sequence with the right settings and you just have the clips, do the same thing. It'll make sure that your sequence has the exact settings that you need. So here we are in our sequence. We finally have our sequence put up. I'm gonna move this over here so that we have our project finder and our program monitor right here. So the very first thing that you'll probably notice is that the color of this sequence is different than it normally is. It's normally the iris blue color, and right now it's green. That's just a very quick and easy way to tell the difference between normal footage and an actual multicam sequence. So another thing we need to look at is this yellow line up here. And as you can see, it doesn't span across the whole clip, which is kind of weird, right? And what this yellow line tells us is what we are able to see in the footage. So we're able to see footage, and then as soon as the line stops, it goes black. Why is that? That's weird, right? Well, what we can do is we can go into our multicam sequence and find out what's going on. So how do we go inside the sequence to look at what's in there? very, very simple. All you do is you hold Command and you double click into the sequence. And this is the nested sequence. So these are all the clips that we have processed up here. You can see the audio, the 2 A cams, the 2 B cams, and their audio tracks as well. And as you can see, Premiere Pro automatically mutes any other tracks that isn't the clean audio take. So that's very nice. Also, just quickly make sure that that is actually the case, because sometimes Premiere isn't perfect as well. And as you can see, these clips are kind of staggered right here. So it kind of can show us why we're not seeing footage right here. The footage ends right there. That's weird because this footage ends right here as well until Premiere decided to put this footage on another track. I don't know why Premiere defaults and does this. I think it's just trying to clearly display that there's different sets of footage. So what we need to do to make sure that we can see this footage while we're editing our multicam track is we need to move it down to V1. So we just simply grab our footage and move it down. Move it down. Just like that. Boom. We moved it down and then we go back to our multicam and look at that. We can see the footage the whole time. Weird, I know, I don't get it, but it's necessary, so there it is. Okay, so far I have taught you how to make your own sequence with your audio and your footage, and how to put that multicam sequence into an actual working sequence that we can edit, as well as go into the nested sequence of the multicam and manipulate the materials inside of that multicam sequence. Woo, that's a lot, right? We're doing good. So now we just need to learn how to edit the actual multicam sequence itself. Because right now, if we're in our sequence and we're trying to edit and we just play as it is right now, it's just one angle, right? It's just one angle, even though there's 2 angles because it's a multicam. So how do we toggle that? Go over to this wrench right here and go up to multi-camera. And as you can see, we have both angles. We'll play this a little bit. Both angles, our audio is synced up completely, and we are ready to edit. And another way we can easily toggle the multi-camera on and off by putting it in our quick tools right here is by just clicking on this plus button, and we have to click and drag on the toggle multi-camera view, click and drag to the bar, and it will just stick right there. And we can just easily toggle on and off with that button right there. So perfect, right? So as you can see, it has our A cam highlighted with this yellow box, and that is what it's showing, is the A cam. So we need to edit this by clicking back and forth from A cam and B cam when needed. And it's very, very simple. What we're gonna wanna do is zoom into our sequence, and it's so simple. All you do is you start playing, and as soon as you want to change, you click on the B cam angle or the next angle, and then we change right back. And once we pause, it shows us the cuts that we have made right here. And it's kind of weird, it doesn't show the cuts until you pause. So just make sure you're pausing every once in a while. I would pause after every cut I've made personally, because I'll show you real fast. So let's say we're chugging along, we're making some edits, B cam, back to A cam, back to B cam, back to A cam, and then I go, ooh, I didn't like that last one. I'm gonna pause and do Command Z. Look at what that does. It gets rid of all those cuts within that one stretch of non-pausing, if that makes sense. So to avoid this, what I do is when I make my edit and I switch to one cam, I'll pause, watch that cut appear, and then I'll keep going. So that if I mess up, let's say that's a mess up, ooh, I didn't like that, I can just Command Z and it only gets rid of that one cut right there. So this is a little tricky. It'll definitely take some practice to get used to it and all that, but it's very, very simple. You'll get the hang of it. And another trick that I'll show you real fast is, let's say I'm making a cut and I go, oh, I wish that that was a little further behind, like right here. What I can do is, I'll zoom in nice and close to show you, is click on the cut holding command. It'll change your mouse into this weird little bar thing. So that's without holding command, hold command, and what you can do is you can click and drag while still holding command, and it will put the cut wherever you want. Just like that. Just make sure that you're zoomed in and you're really paying attention, because sometimes I'll be doing this really, really fast and I won't have command held down all the way. So I'll just be going like this and like making gaps in my footage when that's not what we want to be doing. So just make sure you're zoomed in when you're doing that. That is just something that really, really helped me out when using a lot of multicam sequences and a lot of multicam projects like this. But I hope this helped you out in some way. Let me know if there's any other questions you can think about in the comments. I know that this is just kind of a basic walkthrough of multicam footage and how to work with multicam sequences, but this definitely helped me a lot when I was starting out, and I hope it helps you as well. So let me know if there's anything else that I can add to this video. Well, I hope I helped you guys in learning about multicam footage and how to work with multicam sequences without having to do it the long way. This has definitely saved me tons of time, and I hope it helps you save lots of time. I can't tell you how many people I know that still do it the long way. Come on, guys, we don't gotta do that anymore. I got your back. I hope you all liked watching this video. Please don't be afraid to show your girl some love. I love seeing all your likes, comments, subscribes, all that. It really warms my cold, dead heart. And thank you to my day one fans out there. You guys are awesome. And to all my other fans who just like to see me talk at the camera once a week, you guys are the realest. Love you all so much.